This little boy of 21 months demonstrates wonderfully many of the skills we look for. The age of 21 months is one of those ages where there's a sudden explosion of development, especially in language and in understanding the world, and this little boy has demonstrated this. In his motor skills, he is now able to run. He can stoop and squat and rise again without support. He can go up and down stairs independently, both on all fours and walking up and down 2 feet to a step. He can jump off the level floor, and he has just learned how to jump off a low step, though still has 1 foot leading. He is just beginning to kick a ball, though this is still largely through running into it, though he is beginning to raise 1 foot deliberately to do this. He can throw a ball with a reasonable sense of direction. He is not yet quite able to catch a relatively small ball. His fine motor skills are also well developed. He is right-handed and he understands the use of a pencil very well. He is now spontaneously drawing circular scribble with some deliberate lines, and he's beginning to understand the idea of imitating the examiner's stroke, though this is not quite accurate at this stage. In his language skills, he shows some lovely development. On the examiner's language sample, there are at least 40 clear and definite words. But more importantly, he is now joining words together into 2 and 1 3-word phrase during the session. He is beginning to use the plural S to designate more than one, and he's now using the word more also to demonstrate that there is more than one of the object. And on one occasion, when asked how many, he was even able to respond 2. The idea of colours are just beginning to come, though it's not yet accurate. Very importantly, he was able to communicate in a conversation with his mother, and you will note how she, from time to time, expanded on his utterance in order to clarify, both to him and to the bystanders, what he was saying. He also demonstrated that when he ran into a problem, he could ask his mother for help. This very simple request, which seems so obvious, is one that children with autism find extremely difficult to do. He also showed that he is now using his language to describe to himself as much as anyone else what he is actually doing. And this is very characteristic of the child between 21 and 24 months, when, as his language expands, he will comment on his own activities as he goes, so that he thus further develops his language. In his social skills, he shows an awareness of the everyday tasks of the household that go on around him, and now copies them, for example, in making a cup of tea for his mother, in brushing his teeth, and in feeding his mother, and, though rather fleetingly, feeding the little doll. At this age of 21 months, children understand the point and purpose of these simple tasks that they see around them, and they like to act them out in their play. In his cognitive skills, he was, as children of this age are, interested in the set of containers. He was able to remove the lids, all of the lids, and he was able to replace the lid on some of the boxes. He was able also, and was interested in trying to match the right size lid to its box. Again, this is a child who is experimenting with relative size. He enjoyed putting things into the boxes, and in one short stretch at the toy kitchen, he was putting as many objects as he could into a saucepan. He is just absorbing the idea of things fitting or not fitting the container. Children of this age will sometimes try, for example, to seat themselves on a toy chair or in a toy train and thus will get an idea of things that do or do not fit these small containers.